So, welcome everyone to this special session. And this is the Light Academy monthly leadership development and transformation experience. We do this every last Saturday of the month. And we have Light Academy members, the people that they subscribe to this Light Academy that between Monday to Saturday. And so they receive special content exclusively only for those in Light Academy. But this once a month is an open house, and which is a masterclass. And I have for you something that you're gonna really enjoy. So welcome. And today we'll be looking at opening your personal and owning your personal growth and elevating your leadership masterclass. So that's what I have for you today. Honing your personal growth and elevating your leadership masterclass. So it's a masterclass. We're going to gain mastery of so many things that, like I said, the goal is application. Because information without application will produce stagnation. So, like I said, until growth becomes your possession, growth cannot become your obsession. So that's why I want everybody to live here honing your own growth, not making any excuse. So I want to share a story with you, and I will start with this story. And when I was coming up, and in my middle school, in my high school, and there's a book that I read. And now this book has a lot of stories in it. So one of the stories that I remember that came that I want to share with you today was the story of a man. This man is a poor cobbler. A cobbler is a shoemaker. So this man was working on making some new shoes. So he used all the savings that he has to buy the leather for the shoe, to buy everything that he needs to produce the new shoe, the soles and everything like that. So his plan is just to make just a pair of shoes because that's all the money that he has in the world. So, but he was tired. He couldn't work on that shoe. So what he did is he was able to prepare the sole, everything as safe in his workshop. Then tomorrow he would just go ahead to produce the shoe. So he and his wife, they slept. So by the time he woke up, something happened. To his own surprise, the shoe was already made. And he was like, wow, that was the best looking shoe that he ever saw in his life. He was wow that who did this? He was sure that he didn't produce the shoe. How come? Who produced this best shoe in the world? He has never seen a shoe like this before. So, well, instead of asking questions, he said that, well, he got, he hit some great luck. So he took the shoe to the market and he found a good buyer for it. Everybody was amazed at the shoe. They were ready to put a high price. And he sold the shoe for a high price. And guess what he did? He went to buy some more materials, the resources to produce many shoes. Because, like I said, that's all the money here. Now, since this shoe was the best looking shoe in town, people were ready to pay a high amount for it. So he came back buying a lot of leathers for like 5 new shoes that he's going to make. So, like I said, he got tired. So he just prepped it up that in the following day he's going to do the shoe. And by the time he woke up again, he found that that shoe was already made. I said, wow, who is doing this work now? I mean, he's been a cobbler for many years, but he didn't even have the skill set to produce this kind of beautiful set looking shoes. So he took it to the market again. He made a lot of money. And guess what he did? He bought raw materials again. So he prepped it up, getting ready to wake up to produce the shoe. To his amazement, the shoe was produced. And that becomes a back and forth thing to the extent that this cobbler became very rich. Then one day, he and his wife now decide that, listen, somebody has been doing some work overnight while we are sleeping. We need to find out who are these people. So one night they decided to peep on the action, and they put the letter down. And then in the midnight, there's these two fairy looking creatures. They just appear. Those creatures came with their materials and instruments, and they started working on those shoes. They now saw that, wow, so these are the people that have been working on this shoe. So they sized them up. So the second day, they brought some materials. And by the time these little creatures came again in the midnight, they found a pair of clothes that was their size and a pair of shoe that was their size to show their appreciation for them. And they wore it, and those creatures never came back again. But this man is already made it, he's already rich. He has made a lot of money. But guess what? I believe what you just had is all fiction. If you are thinking that for your personal growth and your leadership development, you're going to wait for a fairy to come and help you to grow, to elevate your leadership, listen to me, it's not going to happen. We can just think like, oh, and we just think that if it's that easy, oh, why do I have to do the hard work? But let me tell you something. Life is a DIY. Do it yourself. So that is, I want to get it. The earlier you get this, the earlier you're going to understand that personal growth is a DIY. Yeah, it's a DIY. It's a do it yourself. It's something that you have to do yourself. And the earlier you understand this, the better. These are the things that many people will not tell you. So I'm sharing this with you now so that you can have that understanding. When you understand that your personal growth is do it yourself, you'll be ready to do all you can to make it a reality. So today I want to take you to, like I said, I've already prepared a content for you, and I wanted to take this ownership. I mean, there's nothing like copyright, just copy it right. So this is going to help you. What I'm about to share with you is going to change your life. It's going to change your life. So let's look at what we have today: the leadership development experience, honing your personal growth, owning your personal growth, and elevating your leadership masterclass. So this is what we'll be looking at today. And first of all, I want to show you, the question is, why this masterclass? Why this masterclass? Now, Jim Rohn said, what you do occasionally makes no difference. What you do consistently makes all the difference. And when it comes to growth, I just wanted to remember this quote. You see, if you want to grow and elevate your leadership, it's not an occasional stuff. And listen, and this is what many people do. This is what many people do. They just go to conference. Maybe some people have been to conference last, 3 months ago. Maybe they've been to conference last, maybe 5 years ago. If you want to own your personal growth and elevate your leadership, you can afford to do that. You have to make your personal growth a thing of consistency. Don't make it a thing of just, going like, oh, it is only when it is convenient. Well, if it's only when I can afford it. No. And that's what Jim Rohn said. I want to just pay attention what Jim Rohn said is so important. That quote is so important. And this is what I want you to get from it. Please, I want you to take just be clear about this. So what you do occasionally makes no difference. What you do consistently is what makes all the difference. Another wise man, Oliver Cromwell, said, he who stops being better, stop being good. You see, when you stop being better is a daily thing. When you start being better today than when you are yesterday, you will stop being good at whatever you're doing, whatever skill set. You have to get better. James Clear talk about getting better at least 1% every day improvement. Our goal is not to be better than others, but to be better than who we are yesterday. So, why this masterclass? So, because growth is non-transferable responsibility. Number two, growth don't just happen. Growth happens just. Growth don't just happen. Growth happens just. Then the third consideration is facing change with more resilience requires growth. If you want to learn to face change with more resilience, I'm doing a mastermind. Immediately I'm done with this class, I'm having a mastermind. It's going to be the week 4. We've been doing developing resilience for effective leadership. So if you want to face change with more resilience, you need it. It demands growth, continual growth. Also, I want to consider that why this masterclass. You cannot elevate what you have not developed, and neither can you deliver what you have not developed. Then also, growth today is an investment for tomorrow. So I want to just consider these things, this point that I just highlighted to you, that will help you to appreciate the purpose for this masterclass. This masterclass this is what it is intended to be. So I'm going to give you what we called the growth framework. And if you know me very well, I'm big about acronym. So I want to give you the growth framework. This framework is an acronym. And the reason why I want to give this to you is I want you to be able to leave this place and with something you can readily apply. So here is the growth framework. Like I said, it's an acronym, and the acronym is growth. So the first one is G. Get clear about who you must become. So you have to first of all have the clarity of who you must become. And we'll be looking at all those things, having the clarity of who you must become. And the second one is R. We're spelling the word growth. Responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. So I want to know that responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. You can transfer it to anyone. Then the O, optimize your daily habits. Optimize your daily habits. Then the W is walk the process with patience and resilience. Then the T is transform your mindset to match your mission. Then the H is harvest through application and mentorship. So that's how you take the harvest of your growth. After you've done all these things, you take the harvest through application and mentorship, because mentorship will provide you the feedback and the guidance that you need to take the harvest for your growth. Now, I want to think about this reflection question. Just 3 of them. Number 1, ask yourself this question. Why do I need to grow now? Now, watch this. The emphasis there is now. Why do I need to grow now? Why do I need to grow now? That's the first question I want to ask yourself. The second question is, what are the consequences of you not growing now? What are the consequences? Listen, there's a consequence to growth and there's a consequence to not growing. Growth has consequence and not growing has consequences. And the third question I want to ask yourself is, what opportunities requires a higher version of you? What are the opportunities that require? Now watch this. There's so many opportunities that you can attract now until you become the best version of you. So I want to challenge you to see growth from a different lens today. Because how we see, when we change the way we see things, the things that we see changes. That's what Wayne Dyer said. So think about those 3 questions. Why do I need to grow now? Why? You see, people can make a lot of excuses. One time there was someone that I coach, at that time. So I was having a follow-up coaching with her, and I was okay, and I asked her a question. I said, "How? What have you done since? What work have you done since the last time that we met?" Oh, she was giving excuse that, oh, they have this. She has a friend that came from Europe, and because of that, she was not able to do much. I said, "Excuse me, you've been, you are being unkind to yourself and to your future." I mean, he was looking at, what do I mean? I said, what I mean is this: you don't compromise your growth because you have a visitor. That visitor that you have, it's not somebody that just came. Somebody cannot just take Coach Omalayo. She lives in Germany. She can just carry a bag and say she's going to a friend in America without some prior notice. So that was not an emergency. It was a planned trip. So you already have a notification that that person is coming. So that's not an excuse, because I know what I'm talking about. I am privileged to have visitors. I have a friend of mine that came in this Easter with his two children, and they stay with us and on Good Friday, and they left on Saturday. But she told me ahead of time, like a month, that she's gonna come. So I already make a preparation for that. In fact, that Saturday, she knows normally have a Saturday class. But she was surprised that I don't have a class on that day, but it was intentional. So since I know she's coming, that week was free. But guess what? I never compromise my growth. There are things I do every day, and I still do because I make an allowance for it. Before this friend came, there are things that I need to do that I already did. She was coming in by 5 o'clock. So Friday is my content creation day. So I already take time to do all the work that I need to do to create a margin for when she will come in so that she can have my full attention. And that's what I gave her. I didn't give her what is left. I gave her what is right. And she really appreciates the time that was spent. And even in the following morning, the Saturday morning, there's some things that I do early morning, my early morning routines. It was not compromised. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is this: when you take ownership of your growth, you don't make any excuse. It doesn't matter where you are, you will still do your daily routine. And I want to realize, because until you take possession of your personal growth cannot become your obsession. You can take that as a quotable quote. Until you take possession of your past, because what we are talking about today is taking ownership of your growth, is owning your personal growth and elevating your leadership. You can elevate your leadership when you're taking excuses. You need to take personal responsibility of your personal growth. So now, those of you that are just coming, we already started, and we're looking at this is what we're looking at: owning your personal growth and elevating your leadership. So this is the growth framework that we are looking at today. The growth framework is G is the acronym of growth. Get clear. You have to get clear. Number one, about who you must become. Number two, R, responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. Then O, optimize your daily habits. W, walk the process with patience and resilience. Then the T, transform your mindset to match your mission. And the H, harvest through application and mentorship. I mean, you take the harvest of your growth. Growth is a seed. So this is how you take the harvest: through application, by applying all that you are learning, and through a mentor, through mentorship. A mentor will give you a quality feedback and guidance to maximize your growth. And we ask those three reflection questions that you should ask yourself today: that what do you need? Why do you need to grow now, not tomorrow? Now. We're talking about growth now. Then what are the consequences of you not growing? then what opportunities require a higher version of you? Now that we have seen the framework, so let's start taking it one by one. So let's start with the first one, the first alphabet, G. The first one talks about get clear about who you must become. Get clear about who you must become. John Maxwell said, you must know who you need to become before you know what you must do. Now, watch this. If you don't know who you need to become, if you don't have the clarity of your identity of who you must become, you won't know what you must do. Why? Because growth begins with identity clarity, not activity. A lot of people think that growth begins with activity. Every day they are always doing activity. Listen to me. It's not activity that brings growth. Growth begins with identity clarity. You must be clear of who am I supposed to be. You need to have that clarity because you cannot grow beyond your level of identity. You cannot grow. That's why someone said you need a role model to play your role well. So you need that identity clarity. So the core idea for this is this. I want you to know that clarity is the compass of personal growth. Leaders don't grow intentionally. So leaders grow intentionally. They don't grow by accident. Leaders grow intentionally, not by accident. Now, these are the clarity question I want you to think about, and I want everybody to pay attention to this clarity question. This is so important. The first question I want you to start to think about, to pause and think and reflect on is this. Who must I become in the next 12 months? Either you like it or not, this year we have 1 month left. Tomorrow is the end of November, and we have just December left. So the question is, what must you become in the next 12 months? I want you to ask yourself that question. The second question is, what kind of leader is emerging in you? Yes. What kind of leader is emerging in you? The third question is, what strength must you sharpen? We all have strength. Strength is something that you can do well. You can do it so well, something that you are very good at. And the last question is this. What weaknesses must you confront or outsource? Now, let me help you with this. You see, when it comes to weaknesses, it means things that you are not good at. There are some weakness that you need to confront. Now, when I talk about confronting your weakness, when it comes to choices like attitude, yes, you need to confront that. But when you talk about the weakness, about lack of skill, something that you can do well, you don't confront that. What you do is you outsource it by collaborating with another person that is good at that. So what you do with your strength is you're going to sharpen your skill, your strength. Whatever you are good at, either it's communication or whatever, just think about it. What people commend you for, the things that you are really good at, you have to find a way to sharpen it every day. Do something about it. Now, I want to put in the box right now. Let's make this very interactive. This is, I don't like lecture. I want to put it, I want to think about 3 things that you need to sharpen in the next 12 months. 3 skills. You can put it down. You can put it right there, please. What are the 3 skills that you know you are really good at, that you need to work on, that you can elevate it? You know, John Maxwell said, let's say if you are 6/10, you can only increase your skill by 2 steps. So don't focus on what you are not good at. Focus on what you are good at. So you can put it on the chat. Yes. So put what are the skills that you are good at. You can put it on the chat. Just think about 2 or 3 skills that you need to sharpen in the next 12 months. Yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I know I'm seeing a lot of skillful people, and I know most of you are. You guys, yeah. Someone say right thing. writing, good listener. Yes, those are skills. Writing is a skills. Being a being a good listener is a skill. Listening is a skill. Yeah. So thank you, Miss Katrina, for sharing that. Okay. Oh, someone said communication, Coach Kemi. Thank you for sharing that. She has written a book before. Yeah, communication. Yes. Yeah. Okay. What else? Come on, please put yours in the chat. Yeah, for the live audience, please, everyone, put your cheese in the chat. Listen, I know there's some things I want to sharpen. I want to sharpen my communication skills. I want to sharpen my networking skills. And also, I want to sharpen my writing skills. Find out what are the things that you were good at, you want to sharpen. So the goal is whatever is good can be made better. Yeah, Coach Omalayo said she want to sharpen her networking skills. Coach Tammy said encouraging skill. Yeah, I tell you, Coach Tammy, she's a CEO. She's a chief encouraging officer. I was sharing with her the other time. There was a young lady that she took under her wings. This young lady is going for an international trip, and they put her on the flyer as one of the motivational speakers. I said, Coach Tammy, look at what you did. One of the people you mentoring, she's going international. She's traveling to Lagos, Nigeria. She was excited when I spoke to her this last Wednesday. She said she's already packing her bag. Oh, I was really excited. So whatever you are good at, make a commitment to sharpen it in the next 12 months. So the question is, how do you sharpen it? You need to expose those skills to people. Look at materials, look at books, relevant book. You need to find an environment. The law of the environment says growth thrives in a conducive environment. Begin to identify the environment where you can sharpen those skills. And don't forget the last question is, what weaknesses do you need to confront? So if you have some people, they have the only weakness you can change is the skills. If you don't have a skill set about something, it doesn't matter how much you work on it, you're just wasting your time. But when it comes to weakness due to choices that you make, maybe someone have a negative mindset, a negative attitude, that's a weakness. So you can confront that and start seeing how you can transform that negative mindset into a positive mindset. Or maybe someone is being pessimistic. You can confront that weakness and turn that pessimism to optimism. Yeah, so there's something called learned optimism. Yes, I read a book called Learned Optimism by Dr. Martin Seligman. You can learn how to be optimistic. Some people are so negative, but the good news is they can learn how to be positive. Thank you, Sister Uche. She said communication, networking, and listening. Yes, whatever you have, you can sharpen it. So let's carry on. So we have seen the first one, G, get clear about the person that you want to become. So that is where it starts from. So you have to get clear, and that clarity comes with a question. And you need to ask yourself that question. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the second one now. The second one is R, the alphabet. We're spelling growth. So the second one is responsibility. For your growth is non-transferable. Winston Churchill said, the price of greatness is responsibility. The price of greatness is responsibility. So responsibility is the price for greatness. Responsibility is the price. So greatness is the price, Prize. But responsibility is the price, Price. So there's no price without a price. So if you want to be great, you need to pay the price, and by accepting responsibility. And it's non-transferable. Why? Number one, growth is your personal property. Own it. Growth is your personal property. Own it. I mean, you need to see it that way. Your personal growth is your personal property. You need to own it. I want you to know also that growth is your personal responsibility. Take it. Growth is your personal responsibility. So you need to take it. The thought I want to put into you is you cannot delegate responsibility. So accept it, embrace it, accept it. Because you are the CEO of your personal growth. And growth requires your full participation. Don't forget, your personal growth will always require your full participation. It is a DIY, it's a do it yourself. Now, what is the core idea in this alphabet? So these are the core idea that leadership elevation demands ownership. You see, if you want your leadership, if you want to elevate as a leader, it demands ownership. You need to own that responsibility. You can blame anyone for you not becoming better and becoming more effective as a leader. The only person to blame is the man or the woman in the mirror. The second core idea is where there's ownership, where there's no ownership, there's no outrage. So you see, if you don't own your leadership development, there's no outrage. The outrage comes from ownership. And this outrage is something that you tell yourself, if I must develop as a leader, it has to be me. If I failed, it's my fault. If I succeed, it's my fault. The third idea comes from the book I wrote. I wrote a book, one of the book I wrote last year. It's called Area Code. Area Code means accept responsibility. If you want to exercise authority, a lot of people, they want to exercise authority that, oh, don't you know I'm the leader? But you can't exercise authority until you accept the responsibility to serve. It is when you accept the responsibility of service that you can exercise the authority of a leader. Leadership is not built in the air. The foundation of effective leadership is accepting full responsibility for your personal growth. Now, these are the responsibility questions I want you to ask yourself. And all these responsibility questions, there are three of them. I call them the ownership test. So the first question is this that you want to ask yourself. This is the first question you want to ask yourself. You want to ask yourself, am I waiting for others to do what only I can do? Are you waiting for others to do what only you can do? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Am I waiting for others to do what only I can do? The second question you want to ask yourself, the responsibility question, which is the test for ownership, is have I abdicated responsibility to my mentors? A lot of people, they blame other people for their growth and for their leadership development. And the third question is this: am I expecting outcomes without investment? Am I expecting outcome without investment? You see, those that took responsibility for their growth, they only expect outcomes after investment. Listen to me. I used to be careless about my growth. And when I was in medical school, I used to read, despite my medical books and all that, I still find time to read. I'm the kind of person that I'll be reading Zig Ziglar during the word round, maybe when the consultant did not arrive on time. I'm reading leadership book, developing myself and all that. But I lost that momentum after a while, after my graduation. After coming to America, when I came to America, I still have the momentum, when we are living in North Carolina till we relocated to Philadelphia. But at the point, I just lost it. This is why I'm passionate about personal growth, making it a consistency effort, because you can have the momentum for growth and lose it. It has happened to me before. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. And I will hold a book for days. I will hold book for weeks, and I won't finish it. One book. I might just open it and read maybe like lazily, maybe 1 or 2 pages until God used my barber to wake me up, until I have a wake up call in the barber shop, because my barber is from Vietnam. So every two weeks I visit him to cut my hair, and he's been observing the same book with me for a while, and he wasn't saying nothing. So I always like to take a book when I'm going with me, which is good. It's a good habit to hold a book with you. Somebody call it Ahab. Always have a book, which is a good habit. But I have a bad habit. I wasn't reading the book. That was a bad habit. And that habit has grown over time. It was like a weed that was stunting my growth. And God used this barber. It was like the donkey that was speaking to the prophet. And one day he asked me a question. Are you still reading this book? Oh, you see, to let you know, my consciousness was really dead. I wasn't even paying attention to what she said. I said, oh, yes, yes. Then, but this thing continued every 2 weeks. Just imagine someone asks you a question. Are you still reading this book? And then one day, my conscience began to come alive. I said, oh, this Baba is going to ask me this question again. What do I need to do to keep this Baba quiet? Watch this. I have deadened my consciousness for reading. But now God is using this Baba to wake it up. So I'm now finding a way to keep this Baba quiet. So what did I do? I mean, now guess what? I didn't read the book. I took a different book. So that at least if this Baba see this book, the only bone of contention was with the same book. But if I bring a different book, that was my reasoning, it will be quiet. And everybody will be fine. So when I got there and the Baba saw a different book, he was quiet and I was really happy. Now, somebody wasn't quiet. The person that wasn't quiet was my conscience. My conscience became louder. And my conscience wake up and he said, you are a fraud. I said, no, I'm not a fraud. I didn't do anything. He said, no, you did something. You took a different book. You created an impression to the Baba that you have finished the book, but you've not. You know you've not. And that was a turning point in my life. And I began to look for a good way to grow. It took me a while before I found the system that I now use called SOA. And I'm going to share the system with you. Let me share with you right now. And because I want to give you something. And many of you I know, and you will have heard this story before. You will have heard this SOA. So what does SOA means? Now SOA talks about, it's a principle based on, if you want to replace a bad habit that is not serving you with a good habit that is serving you. There's some habits in our life, like at that time in my life, the bad habit was not reading. So if you have this habit now and you are wondering that, oh, how do someone, you find out you had somebody is reading books every day. How do people do it? How can I do it? So let me help you out. Now, we all have two nature inside of us. The hippopotamus nature, which is our lower self, and we have the ego nature, which is our higher self. So the hippopotamus like to wallow. It's a lazy nature. He like to watch Netflix from morning till night, just scrolling down the phone, just busy doing nothing and just while away the time. And with that nature, you can get to your desired destination. That nature crippled people's potential. It makes people to live a life of frustration, mystery, and lack of fulfillment. So the second nature is the ego nature, which is our higher self, that make people to live a fulfilled life, a more rewarding life, a life full, full with great accomplishment that have benefited humanity. So the question is, how do you replace a old habit that is harming you with a good habit that is serving your purpose? So this is how you do it. The acronym is SOA. So in this case, we want to be practical. So let's take a habit of not reading. Okay, now, so let's say you've not been reading and you want to replace that whole habit, because the thing about habit is this: you can't remove a habit until you replace it with another habit. So habit replacement is the key. I want you to observe right here. So that means, so if you want to remove an habit, you need to have a better habit to replace it. So this is what you do. So the SOA is an acronym. So the first thing you do is X. Make the new habit small. So let's say your habit is you've not been reading and you want to start reading. So make it small. So let's say you take this book. This is my latest book. So you say, oh, you bought this book for instance now. So you make it small. So how do you make it small? So by saying, I'm going to read 1 or 2 pages from this book every day. 1 or 2 pages. Yeah. How many of us can do that? You can put your answer in the chat. How many of us can do that? Yeah. I want to put your answer in the chat. How many of us can read 1 or 2 pages? Yeah, 1 or 2 pages. Yes. Yeah. I want to put your answer in the chat. Yes or no? How many of us can read 1 or 2 pages? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The answer is yes. So, I mean, we all can read 1 or 2 pages. I mean, every day, no matter how busy you are, you can read 1 or 2 pages. So you make that new habits. You make it small. That's the first thing. You make it small. So the second alphabet is O. You make it obvious. So that means, don't forget the habit where we are looking at, you can use this for any habit, is not reading. So you want to make it obvious. So what do? You put this book where you can see it. You want to put the book where you can see it. Why? Because obvious means when you see a book, when you put a book where you can see it, they are visual reminders. It reminds you of your commitment to read the book. So you want to make it obvious. You don't want to go and hide. That's why many reasons why some people are not reading their Bible is after Sunday, they hide it somewhere and they didn't even know where the Bible is all through the week. So when they want to go to church on Sunday, oh, where's my Bible? Where's my Bible? Can you imagine? And they begin to look for it. So they begin to look for their Bible all around. But when you put something where you can see it, they are visual reminders. It makes you commit to it. So that is obvious. So the third alphabet is A. We're spelling SOA, SOA like an eagle. The third alphabet is A. Make it automatic. Now, one thing I want you to know about making an habit automatic is this. Before you can make an habit automatic, you need to understand what we call habit pairing. Habit pairing. So you need to pair the new habit of reading with a habit that is already automatic. So all of us, we have some habits that are automatic, and two of those habits are sleeping and eating. That means no matter what, it's something that we do every day. It's already automatic. It's already automatic. Either you like it or not, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You will come to a point that you'll be hungry, you want to eat, because all the cells in your body, they will go on strike if you're not eating, because they need food to keep working. So, and either you like it or not, you will sleep. Your cells, oh, we've been working hard. We just want to take some nap. Even when they are taking nap, they are still working. There's something we call BMR, basic metabolic rate. So that means at a minimum rate. So that is their way to refresh. So now, how do you do it? So you need to write a statement, make a statement. So since we talk about eating or sleeping, so you write this statement that before breakfast, I'm going to read 1 or 2 pages of this book. You already make it small. That is 1 or 2 pages. So before breakfast, I'm going to read. You write that statement. So that means No book, no breakfast. This is the same principle that some people have used. No Bible, no breakfast. Or you can say, before lunch, I'm going to read one page. It's good to do it before breakfast because that's what I do. That's my commitment before I do. Then also before bedtime, I'm going to read it. So you can either do it before sleeping or before eating in the morning, before sleeping in the night, or before whatever time is best for you. But this is what I find out. Because of that commitment, you will see that because you already make it small, you make it obvious. Now it will now become automatic because you're pairing it with something that is already automatic. And the last alphabet is R. You want to make it realistic. So you make it realistic. How do you make it realistic? So don't say, I'm going to finish this book in 1 week. That's not realistic. Why? Because don't forget, you just started reading. That's not realistic. But if you say, I'm going to finish 7 page or 14 page in a week, that is realistic because don't forget, you are doing 1 or 2 page. Just start small. Make it obvious, make it automatic, and make it realistic. By doing this, believe me, Sally, you will see that you will become consistent. Like Jim Rohn said, that it is not what we do occasionally, that what we do occasionally does not make any difference, but what we do consistently is what makes the difference. So that will help that consistency. And as you do this, you start after 1 month, you can add another book because you have established that habit of reading. That's what I did. I started with one book, and guess what? Today, I read 11 books every day. I don't finish the 11 books every day. I read from it. Now, because this class is practical, this is my primary book that I'm reading now. This is the primary book I'm reading. This book is called Succeeding Against the Odds, written by John H. Johnson, the man that started the Ebony magazine. It's my primary book. I spend 30 minutes on this book every day, just 30 minutes. And I'm learning a lot from it. So after I spend 30 minutes on that book, I also have other books, 10 other books. So all those 10 books, I spend 10 minutes on them. So you can see it. So do the maths. So 10 minutes multiply by 10 book. That's 100 minutes. 10 minutes multiply by 10 books, 100 minutes, then plus 30 minutes for my primary book. So make it 130 minutes. So that's 2 hours, 10 minutes investment. And that's minimum. Now, this is what I want to tell you. Don't start where I started from. Start with one. Just start with one. As you start with one, you now begin to add more books. So when you start with one, you have considered for 1 month, you can add a second book. That's what I did. In fact, I have an accountability group. Some people are here in that accountability group. When I finished a book, I go and make a report of the book that I just finished. Why? Because that is one of the key things to keep growing. You need accountability, partnership, people that will hold you accountable. So I hold myself accountable. Accountability is two-way. So we need to hold ourselves accountable to a high standard, but we also need other people. I call them peers that will hold you accountable. So I just share that with you because we talk about responsibility. I just give you a practical note on how to hone your own growth. Now, okay, someone just asked a question, and I'm going to come back to Q&A, but let me see if I can crack this question now. Say, how do you retain and apply all the principles from the various books? That's a very good question. This is asked by my friend and Coach Christine Titi. Coach Titi, she's a very great dynamic leader. She's the leader of the Toastmasters in one of the Toastmasters in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. She's my very good friend, and I really have so much respect for her. So, Coach Titi, the answer to your question is this. When I read, you see, not all thinking readers are wise. Not all readers are wise. Only thinking readers are wise. Because reading without thinking is playing without knowing. So I have a journal. I have a lot of this that I've used. If I really work hard, I spent 7 weeks to fill up this journal. A whole journal is a big one. I normally bought it in Family Dollars, Dollar General. So everything I'm reading, I'm making a note. For instance, what I read today now is there. So I take notes of things I want to apply. For instance, there's this current challenge I'm dealing with now, and based on an investment that I did. So from one of the books that I read, I found the answer. Because, like I said, don't read to feed your ego. A lot of people read to feed their ego. Oh, I've read 2,000 books. Who cares how many books you've read? Don't read to feed your ego. I want to read with this mindset. Number one, two reasons for reading. Read to solve a problem. Yeah. Read to solve a problem. Now, when you are reading, you need to read to solve a problem. Another reason for reading is anytime you read, think about this. ACT. A. Read for what to apply. As you are reading, you're looking for something to apply to your life. What can I apply from my life, from what I'm learning? And I've done a lot of application from different books I'm learning. For instance, I'm reading the biography of Elon Musk. At the moment, this is the biography. It's one of the books I'm reading. That's one of the books I'm reading now. It's a big book. Like I said, my goal is when I read this, I spend 10 minutes per day. My goal is to read 2 pages within those 10 minutes. Then I'm reading the biography of Albert Einstein. It's another book. Those are big books. I'm not talking about 20 pages book. I've graduated from reading 20 pages book. There's no offense in reading 20 pages book. But you see, the goal is this. I just read, my goal is within that 10 minutes, I want to read 2 pages. Within that 10 minutes. And at times I go beyond that point. Then another biography I'm reading now is Benjamin Franklin. So now you see like 3 biographies. I've read the biography of Steve Jobs. I've read the biography of there's a man called Rich DeVos that started the American Hamway. Then I just finished the one for Femi Otedola on making it big. So, but the goal of it is look for what to apply. So another thing, the reason to read is look for what you can change. Don't forget the ACT. A, you looking for what to apply. C, look for what you can change. There are some changes that we need to make our life. So as you are reading those books, you looking for what you can change. For instance, this is one of the books I'm reading from my very good friend Marissa Nelson, Live Life Rich. So she talked about when you're having a disagreement, she mentioned 3 options. And from there, I was like, because I'm going through some situation right now, and I'm looking at it, I said, oh, wow, this is timely for me. So I'm considering what she said now because I'm looking for what I can apply and what I can change. So read to solve a problem, read for what to apply, read for what you want to change about your life. Then another reason for reading is read for what you can teach. You see that one comes last. So the first one, read to solve a problem, read for what you want to apply, read for what you can change, and read for what you can teach others. You won't have something to teach others if you are not learning from others. We all can learn from others. Before we're done today, I'm going to show you what we call the growth circle. You will see how the growth circle works. It's a circle. We need to understand the growth circle is something that you're going to get from today's session. So I just answered, Coach Christine, I just gave you, I believe that really answered your question. So when I'm reading, I'm looking for what I can apply because our question says, how do you retain and apply it? So because I read to solve a problem, I read for what I can apply to my life, and I've found so many things I've been applying, then I'm reading also to change some things in my life. Then also I'm reading to teach. So this is how these principles became ownership. Anytime you read with that understanding, you're going to retain these principles. It becomes flesh. It becomes flesh. Yeah. Okay, let's just move on, and we're still going to have a Q&A session. So we've talked about the two framework. We've looked at the get clear. That's the first one, and then responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. So let's look at the another alphabet, which is the O. Optimize your daily habits. Optimize your daily habits. So we've talked about get clear about who you must become. We've talked about the second one, responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. So this is the O. Optimize your daily habits. Now look at that word, daily habit. So back to that quote again. Jim Rohn said, what you do occasionally makes no difference. What you do consistently makes all the difference. So that's why it's all about consistency. It's a daily thing. Discipline leads to habits, habit leads to consistency, and consistency leads to growth. Daily disciplines is what shapes leadership destiny. Your habit either lifts your leadership or limits it. So that's why I told you about SOA. It's also applicable right here. How you can replace an habit that doesn't serve you with an habit that serves you. So the core idea is this: your habits today predicts your leadership tomorrow. You see, if I can watch you for one day, I can predict where your leadership is heading to. When you optimize your daily habits, you elevate your leadership. So you see, there's no magic about leadership. So these are the I want to recommend some high impact growth habits for you. So the first one is growth reading. So I've showed you how to read practically. I've shared my own testimonial with you. How I went from a stunted growth to effective growth. So growth reading. The second one is growth reflection. So it's not enough to read. You need to reflect on what you are reading. So that is the thinking. Like I said, reading without thinking is playing without knowing. So you see, as you are reading a book, reflect on it. That is what we call growth reflection. So it is from that reflection that you take notes. Reflect on what you are reading. Don't just read. Reflect. Think about what you are reading. Reflect on it. Because the law of reflection said growth catches up with us when we pause and reflect. Then growth mentorship. You see, even as you are growing, you need mentors. You need mentorship. Mentors that have read the same material, that have gone through the same thing. And there are people called next level mentor. They might just be ahead of you with one step, but you still need them to help you to interpret what you are reading. Then we need growth conversation. So you see, I do have growth conversation when I talk to people. We do talk, we do share ideas. One day I was talking to my friend. I didn't know maybe MOB is still on this platform. We're just having a growth conversation. He lives in UK. And oh, wow, I was learning from him. He was learning from me. That was growth conversation, because all conversations are not created equally. You see, because growth conversation is what leads to what we call creative conversations. Then we also have what we call growth environments. See, all environments are not created equal. Environments are not things. They are people. You need the right people that can help you to amplify your growth. And we don't talk about growth applications. So I want to pay attention to these things that are just being highlighted. I just highlight. Oh yeah, MOB is here. MOB is my very good friend. It's also a Maslow leadership. So we were having a growth conversation. You see, the thing is this. One of the way we learn is what we called creative conversations. Creative conversations is one of the way that we learn. There are 4 ways through which we learn. The first way that we learn is when we do something that stretch us. Anything that takes you out of your comfort zone is one of the way to learn. The second way we learn is through reflection. When you reflect. So if you want to reflect, there are 3 question I can give you. You might ask yourself after each day, what went wrong? What went right? What can I do differently? So another way through which we learn is through creative conversations. So these are growth conversations. So because a lot of people, the kind of conversation that they have is gossip. They're talking about people. There's this quote that says, small minds, discuss people. And then average minds discuss maybe places, then great minds discuss ideas. So small minds, they talk about people. Oh, God, don't you see what she did? And that's what they talk about. Average mind has got places. Oh wow, that trip to Argentina was great. And that was, but that's an average mind. But great minds, they discuss ideas. Ideas. There were these two friends, Ralph Waldo Emerson and the friend Erin David Torrey. In those days, when they meet themselves, they normally ask themselves, "What have you learned since the last time that we met?" We need to be having those growth conversations. So that is the third one we've looked at. Get clear about who you must become. That's the G. The R, responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. And we look at the O, optimize your daily habits. So let's go to the next one now, and which is W. Don't forget, we are spelling is the growth framework, which is the growth acronym. You're going to get acronym anytime you come here. Yeah. Okay. So the W is walk the process with patience and resilience. Oliver Cromwell said, he who stops being better stops being good. So I want to challenge you every day. Find a way to better yourself every day. I'm learning Spanish. One of the, apart from the 11 books I'm reading every day, I'm learning Spanish. Every day I learn Spanish. Yeah, I'm bettering my skills. So he who stops being better stops being good. Don't forget. You see a lot of people that they were really good before. They were good at what they are doing, but they just stop being better. So don't forget that this quote is so powerful. Any day you stop being better of what you are, what people know you for. That's why a lot of people they take their growth for granted. They take it for granted. They were used to the kind of things that they do before. They were really committed. But after people now know them, Dr. John Maxwell talked about one of his mentors. He said he was with one of his mentors one time, and he said the man just keep on repeating old stuff, old things. He keep on repeating old stuff, and he just told himself that this man have stopped growing, and he make up his mind that I don't want to be like him. And that's the thing about it. So if you when you stop getting better, you stop getting good. So to remain good, to remain sharp, on top of your game, you have to keep it. See, listen. When you say, I told people, when you see someone reading 11 books, it shows that there's a lot that he doesn't know. And that's what I do every day. To me, it's a daily thing. So I want to encourage you. So you see, this is not all about impressing people. No, it's all about impacting people. You want to change lives. This is what it's all about. And I believe that's why you here. You want to elevate your leadership. You want to change life. So this is it. So let's go to the and back to that. So the walk the process. So walk the process with patience and resilience. So don't forget, he who stops being better stops being good. Don't forget, growth is a process, not an event. You see, I love this. What we are having today is an event. See, an event help people to make decision. That's why I have mastermind. For instance, I have a class going on. I have the week 4. After I'm done, I'm going to the class for the week 4. The people already sign up in that class, week 4. So these are people that they're already in the game. Miss Katrina right here. She lives in Southfield in Detroit, and she's always in the class. Anytime she see I'm doing a mastermind, she's always learning. Always, she's an HR person. You know, she's in human resources, but she's growing. She's hungry. In fact, she was the first person to come to today's masterclass. Growth is a process, not an event. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. A lot of people, they just want no, it can't happen in a day. It's a process. There is no elevator for leadership elevation, only stairs. You have to take the stairs. And taking the stairs is real work. So growth requires repetition, reflection, and resilience. The more you grow, the more you realize there's more to growth. So what are the core ideas? The core ideas for this W alphabet is leadership elevation requires perseverance. Yes. You see, leadership elevation is not microwave, it's a crock pot. It's a process. Only those who walk the process harvest the reward. So these are some of the reasons why many never grow. Inconsistent effort. See, a lot of people, they are not consistent. They are not consistent. And successful people do consistently what unsuccessful people do occasionally. Why many never grow? Emotional impatience. Some people, they are not patient. They are just in a hurry, in a hurry. No, growth requires a process. Then lack of endurance. There's a need for endurance, which is perseverance. If you want to grow, you have to stay with it. Because our work is first stored up, according to John Maxwell, before they shows up. Then chasing shortcut. The reason why many people never grow, they are always looking for the shortcut. 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 They are the people that instead of reading the book, they want to read a summary of the book. But listen, why do you want to read a book summary when you can read the whole book? Oh, that book is too much. No, I just want a book summary. They are always chasing shortcut. Resistance to feedback. You see, a lot of people, they don't want feedback. And feedback is so important. I have mentors in my life that I sign up for their class. They give me feedback. So when I want to write my latest book, the one I brought out June this year, my mentor, Elizabeth, one of my mentors, Elizabeth McCormick, she was the number 13 on the global guru for motivational speakers in the whole world. I was going back and forth with her. The subtitle I want to use before, she said I should change it. She need to even approve everything, the picture. She told me how to position it. She worked with me all the process because I also feature her in the book. I share that story in the book. I mean, I tell you, mentorship is so powerful. I believe so much in mentorship that I wrote a book on it. So it's not just, to me, it's alive. One of the books you can get on Amazon is called The Mentorship Advantage. So I talk about mentorship with the acronym mentorship is there. So this is so key because mentors, they give you feedback and they delivers you from tormentors. Okay, so let's quickly go and first so that we can have the time for Q&A. Now, we've talked about the process with patience and resilience. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is T. The next one is T. Transform your mindset to match your mission. Transform your mindset to match your mission. John Maxwell said, a leader's thinking determines a leader's outcome. Your thinking becomes your ceiling. How you think is how you will live. Your thinking set the ceiling for your leadership. Leaders rise or fall by their mindset. So the core idea right here is this. You cannot elevate your leadership with yesterday's thinking. That's why we need to upgrade our thinking daily. Thinking have to be upgraded daily. And don't forget, your greatest asset is your mindset. Now, one thing you need to do to transform your mindset to match your mission is you need to first of all identify limiting beliefs. Example. So these are some of the examples of limiting beliefs. Oh, I'm not ready for that yet. Oh, I don't know enough. I tried before and failed. Others are better than me. Can I afford it? All these are limiting beliefs. You have to identify those limiting beliefs. There are so many. Those are just examples. Limiting belief. Oh, that thing is too costly. That's a limiting belief. You hear about the class, oh, sign up for this class, 5 weeks class, $200. Oh, it's too expensive. That's a limiting belief. G.R.O.W.T.H said one time he was struggling, he was working in CS. He saw a class, a workshop advertised. He said he couldn't afford the money, but instead of asking the question, instead of saying, I cannot I can't afford this. You are asking the wrong question. You are saying the wrong thing. The thing to ask yourself is how. You need to put how. How can I? Instead of saying, can I afford this? Say how. By the time you put the word how, can I afford this? It changes everything. And he was able to go. It cost him a lot of money, but that was a turning point in his life. You see, rich people, this is how they think. When they hear about the class, they say, oh, what will it cost me not to attend this class? But look at the way poor people think. Oh, what will it cost me to attend this class? The difference is clear. Rich people doesn't think about what it will cost them to go for that conference. They think about what it will cost them not to go. Just like, someone, talk about, oh, so someone told you that, oh, I have a coach, I pay my coach, every month. I said, oh, that's too expensive. See, rich people just think that, what will it cost me not to have a coach? I've been privileged to work with some people one-on-one in executive coaching, and they pay a lot. But I've seen the changes in their life, the things that would not have happened if they didn't go through that. So I want to tell you something. Whatever quality you are looking for in your life, it has a price tag. Everything of value has a price tag attached to it. And I want to assure you that you only get what you pay for. You only get what you pay for. And that's why when it comes to growth, don't compromise your growth. Don't. Someone said this is true. It has caused many of us progress and growth. I will not be limited by this belief. Don't let anything limit you. You must identify those limiting beliefs and challenge it. And challenge it with a better set of belief. Okay, now let's go to the last but not the least now, which is the H part. Harvest through application and mentorship. Harvest, this is where you take the harvest. G.R.O.W.T.H said, learning without application is just entertainment. Learning without application is just entertainment. So we want to harvest through application and mentorship. Because don't forget, growth becomes visible only through application. You see, the reason why growth is not visible in many lives is, they went to this conference, oh, they read this book, but the question is, you don't apply anything. You see, growth only becomes visible through application because application is the key to transformation. Growth does not come through accumulation of information. For instance, you are here today. It is not what you hear that will change you, it is what you apply. And feedback accelerates your masteries, and you get this from mentorship. Mentorship compresses your time and learning curve. That means what it took a long time for a mentor to learn, you can learn it within a short while. And mentorship multiplies your pace and reduces your pains. I love that. Mentorship multiplies your pace, but they reduce your pains. The core idea to this is information without application produces stagnation. Elevation comes through practice and guidance by a learned mentor. So the question is, how do you activate your growth? Number one, commit to daily discipline. There are things I do daily. Don't forget, discipline will lead to habit. Habit leads to consistency. And consistency will lead to growth. So commit to daily discipline. Commit to daily discipline. Number two, apply immediately. You need to apply immediately. Apply immediately. Apply immediately. Look for something As you are hearing this, you are learning some things today. Find a way to apply immediately. I've showed you how to go from not reading a book to book. You need to like that. So I'm gonna apply it immediately. Every one of you. Um, this teaching is gonna be on YouTube and made available even to people that are not here. You can hear it again. You can watch it again, but make sure you apply immediately. Then seek feedback courageously. If you want to activate your growth, you need to seek feedback courageously. Coward people, they don't seek feedback. It takes a courageous person to seek feedback. Then partner with mentorship intentionally. You partner with a mentor that can help you. And that's why in Light Academy, it's a mentorship group. There are people that I mentor Monday to Saturday. They receive consistent materials from me, and I talk to them during the month, based on their needs. I've been able to coach them through what they are going through. So these are the growth stuff that we're looking at. Now, let me share with you this growth circle that I promised you. The growth circle. Now, watch this. Every leader needs a mentor. You see, it doesn't matter how far you go, you can outgrow mentorship. I have mentors in my life. I'm privileged to have mentors in my life. That's why I'm privileged to be part of the Maswell leadership. Dr. John Maswell is our principal mentors, and we have a lot of mentors like Valerie Burton and in Roddy Galbraith, Chris Robinson. We have great mentors that are pouring into us. So every leader needs a mentor for wisdom. Yeah. Because someone said, if you have yourself for a mentor, he that has himself for a mentor has a fool for a mentor. So I don't want to be a fool. I have mentors in my life. Then every leader needs a peer for accountability. Yeah, peer means positive, enriching, and enlarging relationship. Positive, enriching, and enlarging relationship. You need people that means people that you are growing together. For accountability, then every leader needs a mentee. You need people for growth through teaching. That means you also need people that you can teach. You need a mentee. So these three relationship is so important. You need mentors for wisdom. You need peer for accountability. You need a mentee for growth through teaching. Don't forget this. This is what we call the growth circle. So every leader in this place, I want to challenge you. You need a mentor. So also, that's why when I wrote this book, The Mentorship Advantage, I did a research from 72 professionals. And one of the things I got is, why are people shunning mentorship? There's so many reasons that were given why people are shunning mentorship. So many reasons. A lot of people, oh, I don't need a mentor in my life. No, we all need mentorship. You can outgrow mentorship. If you want to keep on growing, you need mentors, because mentors will supply you with feedback. Mentors have been where you are. Your mentor, there's some things that they can pick. I remember one time in the Lamb Global Community, we are having a conference, and my mentor was one of the speakers that day. And after I finished my speech, she just texted me with her feedback. He said, Michael, you are on 10 throughout. And I know what she meant. Because I was just, and because normally when you are speaking, you need to vary your speech. There are times you go high, there's time you go low. I was just high all through. Oh, I said, no, no. And nobody picked it up. People thought, oh, I did good, you did good. But she picked it up. She told me. And before my next speaking, I was able to make the adjustment. And someone that I share with said, oh, you made the adjustment. So it's very important to recognize this. So mentors give us feedback. So every leader needs a mentor for wisdom. Every leader needs a peer. I have some people that I share with their peer. We're growing together. I have a lot of them in Maswell leadership that I share with. We have growth conversation, And every leader needs a mentee. So no matter where you are, you know more than some people. You can help a lot of people. That's why. And when people come to my mastermind, I challenge them: learn it, live it, and lead it. There are so many people you can pour into. But don't forget, you need someone to pour into your life. You need someone at the same level that you are learning together. So don't forget, every leader, that's it. Don't forget the growth cycle. The growth cycle is this. Number one, every leader needs a mentor. That's the growth cycle. Every leader needs a mentor for wisdom. Every leader needs a mentor for wisdom. Every leader needs a peer for accountability. And every leader needs a mentee for growth through teaching. Because as you teach others, you are reinforcing your growth. Okay, this is the masterclass recap, what we've learned today. The growth framework, and we're spelling growth. G, get clear about what you must become. So, and we've gone through that, in case you came late, you will get you can go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Michael Koku, and subscribe so that by the time I upload this one, you can have it live. Then responsibility for your growth is non-transferable. We've talked about that. Then O, optimize your daily habits. Then the W, walk the process with patience and resilience. Then the T, transform your mindset to match your mission. Then the H, harvest through application, feedback, and mentorship. And here's your call to action. Growth today is what gives birth to leadership tomorrow. Commit to owning your personal growth, not just for the next 90 days, for the rest of your life. And I believe we've all learned so much. And so I'm excited. We really have this content, this masterclass, honing your personal growth and elevating your leadership. Thank you. I really appreciate you for being here.